What if I told you there is a hidden switch inside your own body, a point the ancients whispered about, capable of unlocking energy and clarity far beyond anything you've ever known? Would you dare to touch it, knowing it could change how you see yourself and the world forever? At the base of your skull, right where your neck begins, lies this mysterious point. The Egyptians did not call it forbidden because it was dangerous, but because it was sacred. They believed it was a doorway, a portal that could awaken forces most people never experience in a lifetime. According to legend, this knowledge came from Thoth, the scribe of the gods, the master of wisdom and language. He understood that the human body itself is a temple filled with hidden keys, and this point was one of the most important of them all. This has nothing to do with the kind of energy you get from caffeine or a good night's sleep. It is about a deeper current, a vital flow that already exists inside you but is blocked and waiting to be awakened. To touch this point with intention is to stand at the threshold where the physical and the spiritual meet. It is a biological gateway, but also a mystical one where consciousness and matter weave together. Even in Chinese medicine, this place was seen as extraordinary. They called it Feng Fu, the palace of wind. It rests just under the occipital bone and connects directly to the brainstem and spinal cord, the superhighway of life signals. But more than its anatomy, its symbolism reveals its true secret. Wind, in the ancient tongue, meant more than air. It meant invisible forces, inspiration, thought, the very breath of the divine. To them, the palace of wind was the receiver of those subtle currents, an antenna built into the human body, tuned to pick up universal wisdom. Have you ever had a sudden spark of inspiration, an idea that seemed to appear out of nowhere? The ancients would say it came through this hidden palace, carried like a whisper on the wind. This is why they treated it with such reverence. Thoth himself, god of wisdom and communication, knew that true knowledge does not always come from logic or effort. It comes from receptivity, from opening yourself to the currents always flowing around you. To activate this point is not to press hard or force anything without awareness. It is like dialing a random number and not knowing who will answer. With intention, it becomes something different. It becomes a tuning, a conscious alignment with energy already inside you. The method the ancients passed down is simple but profound. Sit or lie comfortably. Breathe deeply, slowly. Find the hollow at the base of your skull with your fingers and acknowledge it. Then, instead of pressing, take an ice cube and place it directly on that spot. The cold is shocking at first, almost unbearable, but within moments, it shifts. Warmth spreads through your head and neck. The body floods the area with blood. The brain releases endorphins, and clarity begins to rise. 15 to 20 minutes of this simple practice can open what feels like a doorway inside you. Energy begins to move. It does not stay in the head. It flows downwards into the throat, the center of communication and truth. Over time, fear and silence block this area. Words swallowed, truths unsaid, creativity stifled. But when this energy arrives, it melts those blockages. The voice trapped within you begins to awaken. You may feel an urge to sing, to write, to speak words long held back. Suddenly, your voice carries weight, clarity, and authenticity. This is no accident. Thoth was the master of language. Awakening this point reconnects you to his essence, to the power of expression and creation through the spoken word. And with the throat free, creativity flows, truth flows, life itself flows more easily. People who practice this regularly often report better sleep, sharper focus, bursts of creativity, and a deeper sense of well-being. But these are only the surface effects. The ancients believed that awakening this point connected you to something much larger, a field of wisdom beyond the individual mind. Some traditions say this knowledge came from Atlantis, a lost civilization destroyed in a great cataclysm. Survivors like Thoth carried fragments of their wisdom into Egypt, embedding it in texts, symbols, and practices like this one. To them, the Palace of Wind was not only a personal portal, but a bridge into the Akashic records, the field of memory containing all human experience. This is why some who practice the technique report visions, insights, or a strange sense of belonging to an ancient lineage. By opening this point, you are not only awakening your own energy, but tuning into the universal stream of knowledge that has always been here. The deeper purpose is not simply to recall the past, but to transform the present. Awakening Feng Fu is like tuning an instrument. Once tuned, you can play your own song with clarity and resonance, shaping reality itself through your words, thoughts, and actions. The act itself is simple: an ice cube, a few minutes of breath, awareness directed to the right place. But the meaning is sacred. It is not brute force that opens this palace, but reverence, humility, and intention. To approach it is to declare to the universe, I am ready to listen. I am ready to receive. And when you do, you realize that genius, inspiration, and wisdom are not invented by the mind, but received by the mind that is open and aligned. What begins as a shock of cold becomes a stream of light, a current of energy awakening the temple within your own body. The key was never outside you. It has always been here, hidden at the base of your skull, waiting for you to turn it. And when you do, you discover that the Palace of Wind is not just a point on your body, but a doorway to wisdom, creativity, and truth flowing through the universe, waiting to be received. Modern readings of the Hermetic texts and other hidden traditions, together with messages said to be channeled, describe Thoth very differently from the myths most people know. In this view, he is not simply an Egyptian god, but a vast being of light, a consciousness from beyond earth, perhaps even from Sirius. Rather than wanting worship, he came as a teacher and guide, part of a group of higher intelligences who help young planets develop. His mission was to plant codes of knowledge into early humans, both in their DNA and in their awareness, so that one day humanity could unlock those codes and awaken to its true potential. One such key is the activation of the Feng Fu point at the base of the skull. This is described as a kind of upgrade for the body's communication system. When it is awakened, energy flows more freely, and intuition sharpens to the point where it can feel like telepathy. You begin to receive insights without effort. Answers arrive in your mind already complete. You sense the truth behind words, feel the atmosphere of a place, and know things without explanation. This is called the language of light. It is communication through vibration and frequency, soul to soul, beyond spoken language. It is the natural language of the universe itself, and you are remembering how to speak it. As this awakening deepens, you realize the universe is not a set of separate objects, but one field of energy and information, and your consciousness is not passive, but creative within it. This understanding is echoed in the Emerald Tablet, a short but profound text attributed to Thoth as Hermes Trismegistus. Its central phrase, as above, so below, as below, so above, is a formula describing the repeating patterns of reality, the microcosm and the macrocosm reflect each other. The same laws that shape galaxies also live within your mind and body. Every atom in you was born in a star. Your nervous system resembles the web of galaxies. You are not simply in the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself through human form. By activating Feng Fu, you align your personal system with the greater cosmic network. The inner change you begin radiates outward, helping lift the whole field of human consciousness. Every awakening raises the frequency of the planet. With this realization, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of events and begin to see life flowing through you. Your outer world reflects your inner world. Fear and confusion within create chaos outside. Peace, clarity, and abundance within draw a matching reality. But knowledge alone is not enough. Ancient wisdom teaches that before energy can flow in full strength, you must pass a test of the heart. This test does not happen in temples, but within your own soul. It measures the purity of your intention. Why do you seek this power? Is it to heal, uplift, and grow? Or is it to control, prove yourself, or act from fear? This is the meaning of the ancient weighing of the heart, where the heart was placed on a scale against the feather of Maat, goddess of truth. If the heart was heavy, the soul failed. If it was light, it entered eternal life. Mystery schools taught this weighing happens not only after death, but each time you approach new power or awareness. Your higher self weighs your motives honestly. You cannot hide. Your energy field speaks the truth. If your heart is heavy with selfishness, the flow of energy stops, not as punishment, but as protection. The universe says, not yet. Purify your intention, heal, and return. If your heart is light and sincere, the door opens, and the energy becomes yours to guide. This is the final purpose, not to worship Thoth, but to become like him. The hidden teaching is not about gaining psychic powers or chasing visions. Those are only side effects. The true goal is to awaken as the scribe of your own destiny. Thoth recorded the unfolding of the cosmos. You are invited to do the same, not by copying him, but by stepping into authorship of your own reality. You are meant to move from observing life to writing it, to understand that as above, so below, as within, so without, to realize that what you cultivate inside reshapes the world outside, to know that you are not only a part of the universe, you are the universe, awake and aware, choosing how to live and what to create. This is the deepest meaning of the knowledge that was once guarded. To remember that you are not here to follow, but to embody wisdom, to grow into a conscious creator with a heart light as a feather and a hand steady enough to write destiny itself. He was the master of words, the keeper of universal laws, the one who understood the hidden design behind all creation. He knew that reality itself is not fixed or unchanging, but fluid, shaped and reshaped every moment by consciousness. He saw that the invisible thoughts within the mind and the unseen emotions within the heart send out vibrations, and those vibrations become the fabric of the world we live in. He knew that frequency was not just sound, but the language of the universe, and he knew that the spoken word, when aligned with thought and feeling, was the tool that bridges the invisible and the visible, the inner and the outer, the spiritual and the material. To him, life was not something that simply happened. Life was something that was written, and words were not just noises in the air. They were forces of creation, strokes of a pen across the canvas of existence. That is why he was called the scribe, the master of word, because he understood that every word we speak, every belief we carry, Every vibration we release is recorded into the very fabric of reality. And so, those who walk in alignment with that truth can no longer live as victims of chance. They cannot pretend to be powerless. They must awaken to the truth that they are co-creators of their lives, participants in the great dance of existence, shaping the outcome of their story with every conscious choice they make. The energy you awakened within yourself, the sacred energy that was purifying and released through the throat chakra, validated and balanced by the wisdom of your own heart, has now become the ink in your hands. It is a living, breathing ink, charged with power, and with it, you are no longer a passive observer of your life. You are the author. Every thought you carry, every emotion you choose, every word you release becomes a line written into the script of your reality. You begin to see the patterns of creation at work within you and around you. You recognize that your inner state shapes your outer world, and suddenly, the power of manifestation is no longer a mystery, but a living truth within you. You realize now that you are not at the mercy of the world. The world, in fact, is at the mercy of your vibration. What you choose to hold within you becomes what you see reflected outside of you. If you carry fear, fear multiplies around you. If you carry love, love pours into your life in endless forms. If you believe in lack, you experience scarcity. If you believe in abundance, opportunities open before you. The external world bends to the inner state, just as a shadow bends to the shape of the body that casts it. For centuries, this truth was considered forbidden, not because it was evil, not because it was dangerous in itself, but because it placed full responsibility back into the hands of the individual. And responsibility, for many, is heavier to carry than chains. It is easier to believe we are leaves tossed in the wind, carried by chance, by the actions of others, by the rise and fall of economies, by fate written in the stars. That story feels safer because it takes away the weight of responsibility. But the truth is different. The truth is you are not the leaf. You are the wind itself. You are the force that moves. And to accept this is to stand naked before your own power. It is to realize that excuses can no longer exist. There is no one left to blame, no enemy, no system, no circumstance, no past. From this moment forward, your life is a direct reflection of what you choose to create. And though that may feel terrifying at first, it is also the greatest liberation you will ever know. Because if you created your limitations, then you can uncreate them. If you spoke defeat into your life, then you can now speak victory. If you once carried fear, you can now replace it with love. If you once believed yourself powerless, you can now believe yourself sovereign. The same tool that once trapped you can now set you free. The power to heal your body, to expand your abundance, to manifest love, to build the life you desire, does not belong to rituals, does not belong to distant gods, does not belong to gurus or masters outside of you. They may remind you, they may inspire you, they may show you a reflection, but the true power has always been within you. It is the way you manage your inner state. It is the way you choose your thoughts. It is the way you guide your emotions. It is the way you align your words with your highest truth. Your consciousness itself is the most powerful tool of creation in the universe. And when you begin to wield it deliberately, you discover that you are not just a creation of life. You are a creator within life. This is the wisdom of Thoth, the wisdom of the universal laws. And now that wisdom flows through you, you are no longer only a seeker of knowledge. You have become the scribe of your own destiny. The blank page of the present moment lies before you. The ink of awakened energy is fresh in your hands. The pen of your consciousness is ready. Everything you have walked through in your life has led you to this place. You found the hidden door. You discovered the key. You turned it in the lock. You purifying your channel. You passed the test of your heart. All of your struggles, your losses, your victories, your lessons, your pain, and your joy have brought you here. Nothing was wasted. Every step prepared you for this moment. And now the universe itself waits. The stars lean closer. Creation holds its breath in silence. Because the same force that keeps the planets in orbit, that pulls the tide of the oceans, that births suns and galaxies, now looks through your eyes and acts through your hands. That power has chosen you as its vessel. And so, the only question that matters is no longer what others have written for you. No longer the scripts imposed by family, society, or circumstance. The question is, what will you write? What story will you inscribe? What creation will you bring forth from the blank page of your now? The truth is that your life has always been waiting for your direction. It has always been listening to the song of your vibration. Even when you did not know it, you were writing. Every careless word shaped a path. Every belief carried forward into your days. Every emotion left a trace in the field of your reality. But now you awaken to this truth consciously. Now you see the pen in your hand. Now you feel the ink alive within you. And with this awareness, you no longer write by accident. You write with intention. You write with clarity. You write with purpose. The palace of wind is not some faraway temple hidden from you. It is within you. It is the space where your breath becomes creation, where your word becomes law, where your vibration becomes form. And it is open to you now. You stand at the threshold. You hear the whisper of eternity saying, the page is ready. The ink is alive. The universe is listening. What will you write? If you have walked with me all the way to this place, if you have listened and felt these words until the end, then comment, the palace of wind is open. That is how I will know you have not only heard the message, but carried it within you, that you have walked the path to the final doorway. And if you feel moved to support this journey more directly, there is a special link in the first pinned comment where you can contribute and help spread more messages like this into the world. Every act of support matters, whether it is a gift, a share, or simply your presence here until the end. Even staying until the final word is already a sacred exchange, already an act of co-creation with me. And if you feel this message could speak to someone else, share it with them, because you never know the ripple that a single word, a single vibration can create in another life. And before you go, I have chosen a special video for you. Click it now so we can continue this journey together, because this moment is not the end. It is only the beginning. The ink is alive. The page is open, and your story is waiting to be written. The universe is listening. Creation itself leans close. The question is no longer whether you are powerful. The question is only this: how will you use the power that is already within you? What will you create now that you know the truth? You are the scribe. You are the author. You are the wind itself. The palace is open. The story is yours.